Boker Tov, Tzarayim Tovim. Today's Daf Yomi is a Daf Yomi we're recording now for Shabbos Kodesh. The Daf Yomi is Sotah Lamed Ches. We're going to start on Lamed Zayin Lamed Beis, 2 lines from the bottom. The Mishnah says, Birkas Kohanim Ketzad. How did the bracha of the Kohanim, how was that said? So, B'Medina Omer Osa Shalosh Brachos. In Medina, and there's a machokas in general, does Medina mean outside of Yerushalayim or does it mean outside the Beis HaMikdash? So generally speaking, we say that this means outside of the Beis HaMikdash. That we have this dispute throughout several places in the Shas. The Rishonim argue: does Medina include Jerusalem, or is Jerusalem included in the term the Mikdash? The Rambam writes that Mikdash includes Jerusalem as well, and the Medina is the rest of Israel aside from Yerushalayim. But Rashi says that Medina includes Yerushalayim. So if we follow Rashi's approach, but Medina means outside of the temple, you say 3 brachos, meaning to say you say amen after each bracha. The Mikdash bracha achas. In the Mikdash, it's 1 bracha, because in the Mikdash, you don't say amen, and so therefore you don't need to stop between each verse. So Mikdash Omer as Hashem Kirtavo, on top of Amoches Amanaf. In the Mikdash, you say the name of Shem the way it's written, i.e., that is, you say Yud and Hey and then Vav and Hey. In the Medina Bekinoi, but whereas in the Medina, you recite it, outside the Mikdash, you recite it only the nickname of God, i.e., you say the name of Ado and then Noi, which means the master of the world, but it's just a nickname for God. The Medina, Kohanim nosim asinayim keneged kasvein. In the Medina, the Kohanim, when they say the blessing of the Kohanim, they lift up their hands corresponding to their shoulders. The Mikdash al gabe re'shein. But in the Mikdash, they put their hands above their heads. Chutz mi Kohen Gadol, except for the Kohen Gadol, she'enu makbias yadav l'ma'al min hatzitz. The Kohen Gadol never picks his hands up above the forehead plate, he never picks his hands up above the tzitz, because the tzitz says Kodesh LaHashem. It's not appropriate for him to pick up his hands above it. Rabbi Yehuda says Av Kohen Gadol magbiya yadav l'ma'al min hatzitz. Rabbi Yehuda says also the Kohen Gadol lifts his hands up above the tzitz. It says Vayisa Aaron es yadav ela'am vayivarchem. Aaron lifted up his hands to the people and he blessed them. Tana Rabbanan Kotevarchu says by the Birkos Kohanim, this is how you shall bless the people, B'Lashon HaKodesh, which means you have to bless them in Hebrew. It says the Gemara, Tomer B'Lashon HaKodesh, U'einu El B'Kolashon, maybe in any language. Gemara explains, Nemar Kan Kotevarchu, it says here you shall bless them. And Nemar La'alon, it says by Mount Krizim and Mount Devel, Elo Yamdu V'Arechas Ha'am, these shall stand to bless the people. Ma'alon B'Lashon HaKodesh. It's just like Mount Krizim, Mount Devel is in Hebrew. Avkam B'Lashon HaKodesh. Also, Birkas Kohanim is in Hebrew. Rabbi Yehuda says, Eino Tzarch, you don't need it. Harei Omer, it says, Ko, which means, Ko Tevarchu, Ko means, Achi Omer B'Lashon Hazeh. You need to say it in Hebrew. Tanya Yidach, Ko Tevarchu Ba'amida Tomer. So when it says Ko Tevarchu, it means you have to stand. Tomer Ba'amida, Eino Ela Afil B'Yeshiva. Maybe even sitting, you could say the Birkas Kohanim. Nemar Kan, Ko Tevarchu, V'Nemar La'alon, so it says here, this is how you shall bless, and it says by Mount Krizim, these people were standing to bless. Just like Mount Krizim and Mount Devel, they were standing. So too Birkas Kohanim needs to be standing. This is a whole shaila. Can a Kohen who's in a wheelchair, can he give a bracha to the community? So that's a shaila, a very painful shaila, which the poskim discuss. We don't need that pasuk. It says by Aaron HaKohen, it says Hashem separates the tribe of Levi to carry the Aaron, to stand and to serve. They're just like serving is by standing. So too, the Birkas Kohanim has to be done by standing. And how do we know that the serving of Hashem itself needs to be done with standing? That says that Hashem chose tribe of Levi to stand and to serve. Tanya Idach, another brayso says, Kotevarchu b'nesiyas kapayim. That you bless, the Kohanim bless by lifting up their hands. I tell Meir, b'nesiyas kapayim oeinu el shelo b'nesiyas kapayim. How do we know it's by lifting up their hands? Maybe it's not. You don't even have to lift up your hands. Nemar kan Kotevarchu It says here, this is how you shall bless. And it says that Aaron, on the Yom HaShmini, when the Mishkan was built, he lifted up his hands to bless the people. Just like here, it's by lifting up their hands. So too, here, it's by lifting up his hands. So the Gemara says, well, if that's the case, the Gemara explains, the Gemara asks the question, well, Kashu Elu Rabbi Yonah's son. So if that's the case, this is difficult for Rabbi Yonah's son, because the Gemara says that this Gzeir Shav is difficult to Rabbi Yonah's son. Because why doesn't he say the same learning? If we're going to learn the Siyas Kapayim from the blessing of Aaron, Imal Alon Kohen Gadol, then Rosh Chodesh, Imal Alon Kohen Gadol, Rosh Chodesh Avodas Tzibor, Afkan Kohen Gadol, Rosh Chodesh Avodas Tzibor. So basically the point is that isn't this Bryce a question of Rabbi Yonah's son, because he says Lashar Sol Varach Bishmo. And then we say, no, we're going to learn it out from Kotev Baruch. So then why that's a difficulty for Rabbi Nassan? So the Gemara says, Kasha Rabbi Nassan. So the Gemara says, what would Rabbi Nassan say? Kasha Rabbi Yonasan, because so Rabbi Yonasan is asking the question, how can we compare the two? They're fundamentally different. Over there at the Kohen Gadol, Rosh Chodesh and Avodas Tzibor. So maybe here too, we should only make the Gzeir Shava by the same category, by Kohen Gadol on Rosh Chodesh, Avodas Tzibor. Only then would we say this same idea that they have to lift up their hands. So the Gemara says, Gemara's answer to that question is, Rabbi Nassan Omer Eino Tzarach. You don't need that Gzeir Shava. It says that Aaron's sons will serve all the days. Makish Banav Lo. Compare his sons to him. Just like Aaron have to lift up his hands. Also his sons have to lift up their hands. And it says all the days. Just like the Shiros is for his sons all the days. Also the bracha is done like Aaron all the days. Another Bryce says, as B'nai Yisrael, thus you shall bless B'nai Yisrael, b'Shema Mefurash, with the name of God, with the actual name of God. Don't remember b'Shema Mefurash. You bless him with the actual name of God. Maybe only with the nickname. And they shall place my name, Al B'nai Yisrael. Shmi Amiyuchadli, my actual name. I might think outside of the temple. They also use the actual name of God. Nemer Kam is somewhat Shmi v'Nemer Lalon lasum as Shemi. Lasum as Shemo Sham. Ma'ala Alam Beis HaBechira. Just like over there, it's in the Beis HaMikdash. Avkam beBeis HaBechira. Rabbi Yoshaya says, "Eino tzarach." Harei Omer b'Kol Makom Asher Azkir Shmi Avo Elecha. It says, wherever, in any place that I mention my name, I will come to you. B'Kol Makom Sakadaitach. Really, in every place? Is that really the case? B'Kol Makom, wherever my name is mentioned. You really think that you're allowed to mention the name of God everywhere? But the Chachamim said, Zeshmi L'Olam Zichri L'Dor V'Dor, and L'Olam is said He'elam, meaning to say that you're not allowed to say God's name wherever you want. Ella means Mikra Zemasuras. This verse is cut off. Mikra Zemasuras. B'Kol Makom Asher Avo Eilechu Ve'Rachticha, wherever I come to you, and I will bless you, and I will dwell there. Sham Askir Shemi. There you can mention the name of God. And where does God actually come that you can mention his name? The Beis HaBechira in Jerusalem. Sham Askir Shemi. That's the place that I can mention my name. Sham Askir Shemi, the Beis HaBechira. Here I can mention my name in the Beis HaBechira. Tanya Idach, another Brisa says, Ko Tivarchu as B'nai Yisrael, Ein li al B'nai Yisrael. Says, thus you shall bless the children of Israel. I only know that you're supposed to bless the B'nai Yisrael. The Gerim, the Nashim, Havan, the Meshuchrarim, Minayin. How do I know that included in the Birkas Kohanim is also the converts, the women, and the freed slaves, Tam Omer, and more lahem. You say to them, well, cool, everybody's included. Tanya Idach, another Brisa says, Ko Tivarchu, thus you shall bless the children of Israel, Panim Kinege Panim. That the Kohen's face, the Kohen have to be facing the children of Israel when they bless them. Atomer Panim Kinege Panim. Well, some people turn around when the Kohen makes the bracha because they don't want to see it going. But here it says maybe you should bless the face against the neck. That a person is supposed to bless them like a person speaks to his friend. That's how you're supposed to bless them. Tanya Yidach, another verse says, this is how you shall bless the children of Israel, but Kol Ram. In a loud voice, you bless them. Oh, Eino Ela B'lachash. Maybe the Kohanim are supposed to bless quietly. Tamalomar and Moralahem. Say to them, Adam Shomer Lachaver, like a person who says to their friend. Amar Abaye Naktinan. By the way, this Daf Yomi is the Daf Yomi for Shabbos, which is the Daf Yomi that starts at Moral Kohanim B'nei Aaron. So it's all about the parish, about the Kohanim, and this is the Daf Yomi for Shabbos. Amar Abaye Naktinan, we have a tradition, Lishnayim, when they're in the synagogue, there are two Kohanim, Korei Kohanim. Then the Chazan chants out Kohanim. He calls out Kohanim. Echad, but if there's only one Kohen there, Eno Korei Kohen. He doesn't call Kohen, as it says in Mor Lahem. Only when there are two people there do you call out Kohanim. Lishnayim, only when there are two people. Amar Rav Chisda Naktinon Kohen Korei Kohanim. Ve'en Yisrael Korei Kohanim. He says we have a tradition in our hands that only if the Shliach Tzibur is a Kohen, then he calls out Kohanim to his friends. But an Israelite does not call out Kohanim. They bless on their own. Shenemar and Mor Lahem, and we learn out from this drasha, Amira Mishohem Tehei, that who's the one who calls them out? Only the another Kohen. The Hilchas Kavase Da Abaye, and the Hilchas like Abaye says that you call it to two Kohanim and not to one. Well, the Hilchas and the Hilchas not like Rav Chisda says only the Kohanim are allowed to call out Kohanim and not the regular Yisrael. So the Gemara is going to bring teachings from Rabbi Shua ben Levi, and the first four deal with the blessing of Berachos Kohanim. And then it goes on to share other teachings that he says. So it says Rabbi Shua ben Levi, how do we know that God desires the blessings of the Kohanim? It says, and I will bless them. Every Kohen who gives the Birkos Kohanim is blessed. If he doesn't give the Birkos Kohanim, he's not blessed. It says, I will bless those who bless you. Any Kohen who they call him up to give the priestly blessing and he doesn't do it, over b'shlosha aseh, he violates three positive commandments. As it says, Ko tivarchu and mor lahem v'samu et shemi. The Kohen has to get up and give the bracha. Doesn't just say in the land of Israel, by the way. This is the halacha for everywhere. Rav Amar Choshishin Shema ben Grusho ben Chalutzu. Rav says that if he doesn't get up and give the bracha, then we're concerned that he's not a real Kohen. We're concerned he's the son of a divorcee and he lost his kahuna. Rav Shua ben Levi and Rav are not arguing. We're talking about different circumstances. Ha desalach leprachim, ha delo salach leprachim. Rabbi Shua ben Levi says that Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, who says he doesn't get up, that's talking about a case where he only goes up on Shabbos and Yom Tov. And so therefore we know he's a kosher Kohen, and when he doesn't go up the rest of the days of the week, we're not concerned, we shouldn't be concerned that he's disqualified. And so therefore we're saying he's sinning, he's violating three commandments by not giving the bracha every day. But the other one, there's a Kohen who never goes up to give the Birkas Kohanim, we have to be concerned. Maybe he's not a real Kohen. Remember Rabbi Shua ben Levi called Kohen she'einu olah ba'avoda shuv einu olah. And Rabbi Shua ben Levi says any Kohen who doesn't go up to serve in the temple, Kol Kohen she'einu olah ba'avoda. Any Kohen who doesn't go up to do the Birkas Kohanim, he doesn't ascend to the pulpit to give it until after Ritzei. Shuv einu olah, shouldn't go up. Shenemar vayisa Aaron as yadav an vayvarcheim vayirin ma'asot hachatot va'olah va'shlomim. So Aaron gives the blessing while he's in the avoda, while he's in the blessing of Ritzei, that's when he goes up. Just like there by Aaron, he was standing in service when he gave the blessing. Afkan ba'avoda. So too, Birkas Kohanim has to be while he's standing in service. Is this the case? Rabbi Yami, Rabbi Asi, Salki. Rabbi Yami, Rabbi Asi, they would go up to the duchen after the Shliach Tzibur finished the blessing of Ritzei. So Gemara says, Rabbi Yami, Rabbi Asi, Meikara. When the Chazan got up to there, they had started moving their feet to go up. And they just didn't get there until the Chazan had finished his blessing. they just didn't get there until the Chazan finished the bracha. And since they had started moving their feet, it counts as they were there. So he just has to start going there while the Chazan is saying Ritzei. Nora says, and we also learned, so if he's certain that he's going to do the Birkas go on him, and then he goes back to his prayer so he doesn't make a mistake, we're shy, then he's allowed to give the Birkas go on him, even though he is the Chazan. But he didn't move his feet. Ella did not porta, he moves it a little. Nachinami de akar porta, he moved a little to be able to give the bracha. Remember Rabbi Shua ben Levi. So now we're just saying other statements that Rabbi Shua ben Levi makes. Ain't no thing koshal bracha levarach el tov yayim. We only allow the person to make the birkas hamazon, somebody who is generous. Shenemar tov ayin hu yivarach kinasim lachmo adal. The one who's generous, he'll be blessed because he gave from his bread to the poor man. Al tikre yivorach el yivarech. He will bless others. Remember Rabbi Shua ben Levi minayin shafiu ofos makirim b'tzari ayin. Even birds can recognize somebody who's stingy, and they don't come to benefit from them. They don't want to get the person's crumbs. As it says, and so these psukim from Proverbs are talking about a very stingy person, because it says, and about this verse, we say that when they put down a net to catch birds, and the nets are spread out amongst the wheat and the barley, it's for nothing, because the birds recognize that this person is very stingy, and they don't come to benefit from him, so they don't get trapped. Whoever benefits from somebody who's stingy over balav, he violates a prohibition, and it says, Al tilachem es lachem ra'ayin, ki kamo sha'ar b'nafsho keinhu. Echol shtei yomar lach. Meaning to say, if you benefit from somebody who's stingy, you shouldn't do it. Meaning to say, you shouldn't eat the bread of somebody who's stingy, because even though he says to you, eat and drink, he's only saying it because he's embarrassed. And so therefore, he really doesn't want you to eat and drink. So it's like you're taking food from him when he doesn't want it. Rav Nahum bar Yitzchak Amar over b'shnei lavim is another prohibition, because it says, al tocham v'al tatav. Don't eat the bread and don't get the benefit. And says Rabbi Shua ben Levi, ein egla arufa ba. The Egla Arufa only comes b'shvil tzarei ayim, because of a person who's very stingy, as it says. Va'anu va'amru yadeinu lo shafku asadam hazeh. They said the Egla Arufa is where they take the calf out to the wadi and they break the back of the neck of the calf. And they said our hands didn't kill this man, and our eyes didn't see. So the Gemara says, would we have ever thought that he was a murderer? That the elders of the court were the murderers? He didn't come to our hands and we let him go, and we didn't see him and we let him leave. He didn't come to us as a guest and we sent him away without food. We wouldn't have let him go without escorting him. Meaning to say, that's why the Egla Arufa happened, because somebody sent him away without any food or an escort. If the entire synagogue is a Kohen, everybody goes up to Duchen. So who are they giving the blessing to? I love this line so much. It makes me want to cry. It's so beautiful. It says Rabbi Zero, this synagogue, which is entirely Kohanim, who are they giving the bracha to? They're giving the bracha to their brothers in the fields. Their brothers are sitting and they're working, and they can't come to the synagogue and hear the Birchas Kohanim. Who's giving them this blessing? The spiritual elite of the Kohanim. And is this really the case? We have another teaching says the people who are behind the Kohanim don't get the bracha. Well, it depends. If they could move in front and they didn't, well, then they don't get the blessing. But if they have no choice, they have to be out in their jobs in the fields, and they're going to get the blessing, even though they're the Am Shebesados. The Gemara says, "Vatani Rav Shimi mi birasa di Shechori." What about Rav Shimi from the town of Shechori? Beis HaKnesset Shekua Kohanim Mitzasin Olam Mitzasin Olim Amen. Some go up, and some people stand back and hear Amen. You need to leave at least a minyan there. So that's the answer. So if the whole city, if there isn't a minyan, then only some of the Kohanim go up. But if there is a minyan, then you have you have some who can remain behind, then everybody goes up, and then if you're having the synagogue more than 10 Kohanim, so then they could go up a portion of them and give the blessing, and everybody says Amen. But if there's not going to be 10, when there's only 10, then if some of them will go up, then they won't be back to say Amen. Under these circumstances, it's better that all of them go up and bless their brothers in the fields, because if there's less than 10 Kohanim, it's not appropriate to bless themselves. Kufa, Tana Abba Breder, Achorei Kohanim Einam Mechal Bracha. The people behind the Kohanim are not including the blessing. Pshicha, obviously the case. Say these people are very tall. They're standing in front of short people, and it's obvious that if there are people who are very tall and they're standing behind short people, they don't stop them. Also, Teva, the Aron Kodesh Lo Mafseke, it doesn't stop the blessing. Mechitza Mai, what about a mechitza? A partition. Tashma, number of Shalom Levi, I feel mechitza shal barzel, eno nafsekes ben Yisrael aviyim shebeshamayim. Even a mechitza, partition of iron, will not separate between the Jews and their Father in heaven. What a beautiful Gemara. We'll go over it again in person on Shabbos. Just want to give everybody a flavor of this beautiful Gemara. Geschmack. One of the most beautiful